I don't know how they did it, but they did it. What up, Dragon Ballers? This is going to be my episode review for Dragon Ball Daima episode number 19, Betrayal. We've said this now for what, 4 episodes? This is the best episode of the series, by far. You'll see why. If you haven't, go watch the episode. My God, there is 1 episode left in the show after this. They just keep one-upping themselves. This makes me feel like a kid again when I was watching Dragon Ball for the first time. How are they recapturing the magic like this? God, this episode is so intense, but also hits some of the perfect beats, and we get some really nice visual callbacks again, and we get something that a lot of people were expecting after the last episode. So let's go ahead and jump in. If you guys have been enjoying the series so far, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I have covered the entire series up until this point. I will be doing the finale next week. Is it next week? I'm pretty sure it's next week for episode 20. So do not miss out. Full spoilers ahead. Without further ado, let's jump into this episode. We start the episode with Arinsu raising her hands in pure bliss, thinking that Glorio had wished what she wanted him to wish, and that is to make her Sorcerer Supreme. Suddenly, Goku starts glowing, then Piccolo, then Vegeta, Shin, Bulma, Dende. Everyone starts to glow. So this obviously confirms Gloria wished for them to be returned to normal. Going into the end of the last episode, a lot of people were thinking that was what he was going to do, especially considering that the episode name was Betrayal. That could mean a lot of different things depending on which angle you're coming from. Turns out the betrayal was in fact Glorio betraying Arinsu. Goku and the others morph back into their adult forms, which means we are now in for a show. This is what I was waiting for. True Dragon Ball with Daima animations. This was why I was looking forward to Dragon Ball Daima, because I wanted to see my favorite battles with Goku Vegeta, but in this new modernized animation style. Dragon Ball is an old anime, and so the animations definitely show their age when you go back and watch, even with Super. But now with Daima, I knew we were in for a treat, and oh, did we get it. Goku then thanks Glorio by calling him Glido. Glorio turns back and corrects him, but then gives a small little grin. What a nice way to pay off that running gag. Purunga then disappears. Arinsu is in shock and is devastated. Then the Dragon Balls fly off, and I was thinking to myself, shouldn't one of them fly to Tamagami 1, who's right there with them? Goma then approaches Goku in his new form and taunts him that they still can't defeat him. Goku tells Vegeta that they should now revert back to the one-on-one format, at which point Vegeta responds that he is going first. Goku agrees, as those were the terms that they established when they were about to fight Majin Buu and Majin Buu. Vegeta pulls up on Goma, and oh my God, he is still so tiny. But don't forget, Goma is now the size of a Titan. He got that massive upgrade in the last episode. So even with adult Vegeta, the size difference is crazy. Vegeta charges in and begins the attack. We also see an amazing sequence, very reminiscent of Cooler's Revenge, as the two begin fighting. We then see Arinsu still in shock over what had just happened. She tells Glorio, I see how it is. This is when I thought to myself, Glorio's about to die, right? Because Arinsu just lost everything that she was planning over one wish. Glorio's a dead man. Glorio then apologizes. Arinsu then asks if he has forgotten about the fact that she rescued him from the 3rd demon world. So there's some history there, but that's about all we get. We don't get any more exposition into their relationship other than Glorio was once saved by Arinsu. As Glorio expresses his gratitude and reluctantly comes to terms with his decision, Arinsu orders him to leave and fires him. I'm thinking to myself, is that it? Is Arinsu done? She's just over it? There's got to be something more. Is she gonna kill him? Is she gonna lose it? Glorio runs right by Arinsu as he leaves, and we get this odd close-up of the two of them side by side as the motion slows down. And once again, my paranoid brain was thinking that Arinsu is about to stab Glorio as he runs by, but nothing happens. Majin Buu then walks up to Arinsu and tells her that he will always stay by her side. And then we get a shot of Arinsu turning over to Buu and smiling. A very unnervingly wholesome moment, which is then followed by the action resuming with Vegeta. Vegeta, after flying around for a bit, dodging all of Goma's attacks, finally feels that his body is warmed up. Vegeta flies into his stomach and fires a focused blast. And you can see that this hit is also doing more damage to Goma. A regular base form punch as an adult did more than his Super Saiyan form as a kid. Goma then slaps his hands together like you would do when you're trying to kill a fly or a mosquito and snags Vegeta. But Vegeta immediately breaks free and transforms into Super Saiyan. Then he kicks him away, and as he pursues the flying Goma, Vegeta transforms into Super Saiyan 3. After a loud roar, we see Vegeta doing the same pose he did back when he debuted the form against Tamagami 2.
This is the true power, complete in all its hair. This is Super Saiyan.
Vegeta uppercuts Goma in the chest and begins to beat the shit out of him. An insanely satisfying beatdown sequence ensues, followed by Vegeta using a down air smash. Goma, clearly down for the count, lays on the ground, but gets immediately revived once again by that pesky third eye. And then he busts out the Captain America line.
I could do this all day.
As Vegeta continues to engage, we see the crew staring at Glorio, who has appeared in front of them after the wish was made. Nervous at first, but then Pansy is the first to run towards him and thank him. In a really heartwarming moment, everyone else follows suit and welcomes him back. Neva even winks at Glorio as well, implying that perhaps Neva was on to his plan from the start. Goku then looks at Glorio and gives him a thumbs up, thanking him, and says his name correctly. I don't know why, but this was a tear-jerking moment. How can such a goofy running gag pay off in such a beautiful way? What the f? Meanwhile, Vegeta continues to beat the shit out of Goma again. Now under the map, Vegeta teleports in front of the falling Goma and fires a final flash. Goma's third eye responds mid-air and blasts back, and the two engage in a crazy beam struggle. Vegeta powers up during the beam struggle and pierces through the blast, sending Goma flying completely in the opposite direction into the top corner of the map. We see Vegeta panting as the wear and tear is starting to get to him. And of course, Goma isn't done. He returns completely unscathed. We then get a shot of Vegeta reacting to this, but before he can finish processing what just happened, Goma instantaneously appears behind him, tells him that no matter how much he tries, it will never work. Vegeta is now on the run, on the defensive, and clearly tired. Goku then comments that Vegeta's Super Saiyan 3 isn't going to last much longer, and Goma isn't exhausted at all. Piccolo then remarks that it's due to the Tertian Oculus. While he is completely fine, the crew have all still sustained the damage that they endured earlier in spite of the wish turning them back into adults. He suggests this may not be the time to continue fighting, but rather strategize over how to remove that third eye. Then we switch back to Arinsu and Ku, where Arinsu starts talking about how Demon King Abura used to attach and remove the third eye at will. But she then wonders how that could have happened. She then orders Majin Ku to go to her library and retrieve the Book of Magical Items number 37 from her library. As Majin Ku runs off, Vegeta is able to continue to punish Goma, but is completely exhausted. Goma then appears behind him again and grabs him by his hair. I don't think we've ever seen anyone do that to a Super Saiyan 3 before. He punches Vegeta in the face point blank. Vegeta lands and falls to his knees. His hair starts to dim and he loses Super Saiyan 3. Goku then asks if he can step in. Vegeta declines. Naturally. Piccolo says that even if Goku were to join, his infinite stamina would make it meaningless. Majin Ku runs back and gives Arinsu the book as she starts to sift through the pages. Ku then offers to help and begins speed reading, just like the Flash. Ku's cerebral power once again shines through here, just like he did against Tamagami 1 in that final challenge. He finds the page Arinsu is looking for. Arinsu flies over to the heroes and tells them how to remove the eye, and it is the stupidest thing ever. The eye can be removed if you hit him in the back of the head 3 times in a row. Basically, you have to give Goma a concussion. Goku says he has a bit more stamina than Vegeta at this point, but they are close to being depleted. While Goku and Piccolo try to devise a plan of attack, Shin comments that Vegeta would rather die than have someone step in. And as he says this, Bulma steps forward. She's about to tell her husband the business. Bulma yells over to hubby and tells him to get his head out of his ass and let the others help. Naturally, once again, Vegeta declines. The two start arguing mid-fight, and then Bulma pulls out her final trump card. If Vegeta does not listen to her, then she will never take a bath with him ever again. Vegeta stops everything and turns around looking at Bulma, devastated. And when he saw Bulma's face, he instantly flew back to the ground right next to Goku and told Goku that he can step in. Everyone is in shock and has the most hilarious face except for Goku, who doesn't quite understand the implication of that remark. Goku readies up and flies up towards Goma. He sees Piccolo hiding in the rocks nearby as he stretches. Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan, and he introduces the form. So we once again are revisiting the same beat that he did with Fat Buu during the Majin Buu arc. And then he goes Super Saiyan 3. Once again, this is why I was so excited for Daima. The transformation sequence, the overall art style and animation that we see in this modernized Dragon Ball story is what I have been yearning for as a Dragon Ball fan for years. And we get to watch Goku transform into Super Saiyan 3 in his original adult form. And it is gorgeous and beautiful. It is so nice to see Dragon Ball like this. After transforming, Goku stands in his classic pose and calls this form Super Saiyan 3. Goma scoffs at the form. As Goma readies up in his battle pose, Goku says, "There's one more bonus." And he begins powering up even further. And for the first time this entire episode, Goma starts to get nervous. Goku's eyes go red. He rips off his shirt and starts roaring as he powers up again. The entire demon world is glowing. We see shots of Tamagami 3 standing in his post, Tamagami 2 standing in his post, with that glow off in the distance as Goku ascends. Goku then reaches out to a nearby rock, similar to how Goma did so 2 episodes ago, and steps forward. Goku is standing on his iconic rock. He is now Super Saiyan 4 as an adult. Super Saiyan 4! We did it! And then the episode ends! Super Saiyan 4 looks great on the adult version of Goku. We knew that this was going to be the case because it looked good on the kid version of Goku. Granted, it was a little bit more whimsical looking with his clown arms, his giant arms. Sort of gave me the similar vibes of Kingdom Hearts. Sora with his clown feet look ridiculous, but it's a cartoon. You kind of just embrace that image and it looks nice. But for Goku, with the larger figure, the larger frame to back up those larger gorilla-like arms, it looks really good. And I think that Super Saiyan 4 now looks like a primal force of nature. I cannot wait to see this become truly canon whenever it comes back in the future. Again, though, my question is, number 1, how are they going to move on past this? Number 2, what exactly brought this about? Because now that the dust has settled from last week's episode, I was over the moon excited. The logic is still not quite clear. And so I hope that they give us some sort of an explanation as to what Super Saiyan 4 is, why it came to be, and what exactly Neva did to bring that out. Because at this current juncture, the heroes don't know anything about divine power. They don't know anything about Super Saiyan God. So this is obviously a mortal form. Is this the pinnacle, the highest possible point that a Saiyan can reach without the divine route? Can this power rival that of the divine? I don't know. So a lot of questions still need to be answered about that. And again, this form still doesn't quite make sense in that regard. I'm happy. Like, don't get me wrong. I do not want them to change it. I want this to be here. I want this to be a thing in the future, but I still would like to know how this came to be. Does Neva know something about Super Saiyan 4? Is this going to expand on the lore of the Saiyans? Another question that I have after this episode is, what exactly is the relationship between Arinsu and Glorio? Because it seems to be way deeper than we originally expected. And based on how their interaction ended, it seemed like a mother was disappointed in her son. And speaking of, there was sort of a motherly child sort of relationship that seemed to be forming between Arinsu and the Majin boys. Because when Majin Ku came up to Arinsu after Glorio ran off, now that I think about it, it was kind of like, "Don't worry, Mom, I'll never leave you." And then she smiled. It gave that sort of maternal vibe. And I'm thinking, while the Glorio double cross sort of fell flat, this new relationship sort of emerging, giving Arinsu a little bit more depth in that regard is nice, but I feel like it's a little short because you still don't know what her original relationship was. I think if we knew more about her backstory, that would give this new forging relationship with the Majin boys a little bit more meaning. So I want that to be explored a little bit more, but with only one episode left, I don't know how much more that they can do, because they still have to take out Goma. Goma's now weak to this concussion protocol thing that they're going to be doing. So is that how they're going to wrap this up? Or are they going to create some sort of a join bug situation where Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta fuses with Super Saiyan Primal Goku to create Super Saiyan 3 Prime Gokuju with the join bug? I don't know. I would personally want to see a fusion, but after all that we've already been given, there's no way they're gonna do that for me. This series has given me so much. I could not be happier with what they've done. The animations have been incredible. The visual callbacks, giving Vegeta something that I've always wanted to be canon for so long, giving the Super Saiyan, my favorite form, Super Saiyan 4, an actual canonical debut. I am like so close to just tearing up out of happiness. Dragon Ball is my favorite anime. It's been part of my life since the beginning, and seeing something like this pay off now after years of never getting that as a kid, it's just incredibly cathartic for me. So I cannot express how much I've loved these last few episodes. I think because of some of the plot holes that, I don't know if we want to call them plot holes, maybe they just haven't been fully developed yet. I don't know if I'm going to call this actually better than the last couple episodes. In terms of animations, though, it is light years beyond everything else, which is crazy. But I think in terms of story-wise, until I get more, I can't call this in that way better. So I'm going to give it an A- as opposed to an A+. Nah, I'm going to give it an A as opposed to an A++. I'm going to give it an A+ instead of an A++++. That's my final answer. This episode was everything. And now, speaking of everything, the finale, episode 20, is where it all comes to an end. How will they wrap up this series? And what the am I supposed to do after Daima is over? I need more. God. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What episode is your favorite so far? What are some of your favorite moments from this episode? Are there any references or visual cues that I might have missed? Feel free to share in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned, and always remember to Daima responsibly.